Everyone, drop everything. I need your undivided attention. Your coffee can wait, your car can be parked, because you need to hear this. What just transpired under the blistering Dubai sun at the duty-free tennis championships wasn't merely a tennis match. This wasn't just a collection of great plays. This was a seismic event, a fundamental reshaping of the landscape in women's professional tennis. We commit to bringing you the action. We guarantee you the latest news. Yet no one, absolutely no one, could have foreseen the tremor that just emanated from the main court in the United Arab Emirates. The stories are practically writing themselves. Social media is exploding. The reactions are instantaneous. But the tale itself is elegantly simple, savagely fought, and utterly magnificent. Alexandra Eala has made her entrance, and it wasn't a quiet arrival. She just stormed the gates of the top 10. Hello and welcome to our in-depth special report. I'm your host, and our entire focus today is on the singular contest that has captivated the global sports community. The headline you're seeing tells the whole story. Viral now, Alexandra Eala stuns Jasmine Paolini. It is a marvelous world, and honestly, after the display of tennis we just witnessed, it's marvelous because we are seeing a superstar being forged before our very eyes. Let me paint the picture for you. On one end of the court stood Jasmine Paolini, the formidable force from Italy, ranked 8th in the world. A player who, in the past 2 years, has elevated her game from that of a tenacious fighter to a true Grand Slam threat, reaching the finals at both Roland Garros and Wimbledon and securing Olympic gold in doubles. Paolini embodies proven greatness. She is the guardian standing at the threshold of the sport's most exclusive circle. Her speed is blistering, her competitive fire is relentless, and she never concedes a match to someone ranked below the top 30 without an epic struggle. And on the opposite side, Alexandra Alex, the shining hope of the Philippines, a 20-year-old southpaw whose ascent up the ranks has gone from a quiet climb to a thunderous roar. Her journey is one we've followed, a product of the Rafael Nadal Academy, a champion at the junior Grand Slam level. But on this day, her junior days were a distant memory. She wasn't an up-and-comer, she was a warrior. Heading into this round of 32 clash, the expectations were measured. Eala's first round was unconventional. She moved forward when Hailey Baptiste had to withdraw due to injury. This raised doubts. Had she played enough to be sharp? Did she have the competitive rhythm to face a player of Paolini's elite status? Paolini, meanwhile, was coming off a bye. She was well-rested, fully prepared, and considered the overwhelming favorite to win. The odds makers predicted a straightforward victory for the Italian. The experts argued that Eala simply lacked the seasoned experience required. They claimed Paolini's punishing topspin forehand would overwhelm the young Filipina in the dense Dubai humidity. How wrong those experts were. What we saw over the next 2 hours and 45 minutes was nothing short of a strategic masterpiece that shattered all predictions. Alexandra Eala did more than just defeat Jasmine Paolini. She outmaneuvered her, she overpowered her, and when it mattered most, her self-belief burned brighter. This was a 3-act drama that delivered on every front. And the final score for all the skeptics to see was 6-4, 5-7, 6-4, all for Alexandra Eala. But those numbers alone don't tell the full story. It fails to capture the breathtaking 26-shot rally at 4-all in the final set, where Eala simply would not be broken. It misses the explosive inside-out forehand she hammered to fend off a breakpoint in the opener. It can't convey the hush that fell over the stadium as the fans grasped that a massive upset was brewing, which was then shattered by the eruption from the Filipino contingent, a home court advantage far from home, exploding in celebration as the final point was won. There's a reason this is trending worldwide. This victory was more than a number in the win column. It was a declaration. This marks Eala's 3rd career triumph over a top 10 athlete, placing Paolini's name alongside Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek from that unforgettable Miami campaign last year. Yet, this one carries a different weight. Miami felt like a fairy tale. This felt like the establishment of a new standard of excellence. This felt like confirmation that she has truly earned her place among the elite. And in this detailed broadcast, we are going to dissect every facet of this monumental upset. We will deconstruct the strategic changes Eala implemented to counter Paolini's incredible speed. We'll delve into the immense mental strength it took to drop the second set, a set she was leading 5-3, only to storm back and claim the decisive third. The majority of young athletes would collapse after letting such a lead slip away. Eala, however, simply recalibrated. We will also examine the exchange at the net between her and Jasmine Paolini. It was a display of sheer class that shows exactly why Paolini is so respected, followed by her official remarks where she lauded Eala as a phenomenal talent and a massive asset for the sport's future. To conclude, we'll explore the wider consequences. How will this impact the official rankings? Eala is now forecast to enter the top 35 for the first time ever. What does this signal for the remainder of the competition? The entire draw has been blown wide open. And what is the significance for sports in the Philippines? To witness a global star ascend in real time, taking her place next to titans like Carlos Yulo? So, prepare yourselves. We have an exhaustive analysis headed straight for you. We will be meticulously examining forehand technique, strategic serving, the geometry of the court, and the psychological warfare behind this stunning result. Whether you're a tennis aficionado, a fan of a great underdog tale, or simply curious why the internet is in a frenzy, you have come to the perfect place. We're diving deep into the Alexandra Eala masterclass. Let's get right to it. Forget the headlines for a moment and let's examine the anatomy of her incredible victory. How did this happen? How can a player ranked 47 in the world so thoroughly deconstruct the world's number 8 on a hard court? To make sense of this result, you must first grasp the collision of their styles. Jasmine Pini's entire game is built around her movement. She may not be the tallest competitor, standing at only 5'4", but she compensates with explosive speed and a wicked, looping forehand that paints the court with topspin. Her strategy is almost always to shove her rivals behind the baseline, create geometric angles, and simply wear them into submission. She is a fortress that returns fire with interest. Alexandra Eala, conversely, is a southpaw, and in the world of tennis, a lefty is the ultimate wildcard. For the longest time, though, Eala's game was labeled as one-dimensional, immense power that often shattered into errors when pressured. Today, we witnessed a completely evolved Alexandra Eala. The contest began with Pini serving, and the Italian looked utterly composed, holding her opening game to love. The stadium, buzzing with Filipino expatriates living and working in Dubai, was electric but fraught with nerves. They had watched Eala fight incredible battles before, only to see her stamina fail her. But at 2-all, the very fabric of the match changed. Eala stopped trying to win a war of attrition from the back of the court and started to attack the ball on the rise. This was the tactical masterstroke of the match. Normally, against a power hitter like Pini, the instinct is to retreat and buy time. Eala did the exact opposite. She charged forward, and let's discuss that Eala backhand. Today, it was a weapon of pure destruction. Pini's favorite tactic is to pepper an opponent's backhand, forcing the court open for her own lethal forehand. Yet Eala's two-handed backhand was an unbreakable wall. She struck it flat and with punishing depth, stealing precious milliseconds from Pini, never allowing her to plant her feet. The breakthrough came at 3 games all. Eala flawlessly anticipated a Pini drop shot, a maneuver the Italian typically executes with perfection. And she not only reached the ball, she whipped a cross-court winner that painted the line. The shot was pure audacity, the kind struck by a player with zero fear. Serving to close out the first set at 5-4 was her first major test of nerve. Pini managed to save 2 set points. She was yelling at herself, desperately trying to spark a comeback, but Eala did not flinch. On the 3rd set point, she uncorked a wicked slider out wide, the quintessential lefty serve, and Pini could only frame the return high into the stands. 6-4. First blood was drawn by the underdog. But if the first set was a display of strategic genius, the second set became a brutal war of wills. Pini is a Grand Slam finalist for good reason. She made adjustments. She began to hit with more arc, pushing Eala far beyond the baseline and compelling the Filipina to manufacture her own pace from defensive postures. Eala initially struggled to cope. We watched as her unforced error count began to climb. The Dubai humidity is suffocating, even long after sunset. You could see Eala reaching for her towel after every single exchange. Still, Eala battled onward. She broke Pini to claim a 5-3 advantage. She was now serving for the match. This was the moment. The colossal upset was on her racket. And then, the immensity of the moment seemed to overwhelm her. It happens to even the greatest champions. At 5-3, 30-15, Eala struck a double fault. It was a tense, nervous mistake. That was followed by a missed, routine forehand drive volley. A palpable tension filled the arena. Pini sensed an opening. The Italian broke back for 5-4. Then Pini held her own serve to make it 5-all. The momentum had made a complete 180-degree turn. Eala looked completely rattled. She lost her serve again at 5-6, and Pini decisively closed the set at 7-5. At this exact moment, 99% of tennis analysts would declare the match finished. The challenger had her opportunity. She faltered, and now the seasoned veteran was poised to steamroll her in the final set. It's a standard story in sports. The tale of almost. We have seen that script play out 1,000 times before. But this is precisely why we watch sports. Because Alexandra Eala refused to follow that script. Between the second and third sets, Eala took a break to leave the court and reset. When she re-emerged, her entire body language had shifted. In the second set, she had been shooting frustrated glances toward her coaching box. In the third, her gaze was locked only on the tennis ball. The third set became a gritty dogfight. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. Neither competitor would yield an inch. Peeny's grunts grew more intense, her shots more punishing. She was throwing every weapon in her arsenal at the 20-year-old. But Eala's fitness, the central focus of her training at the Rafa Nadal Academy, did not fail her. The decisive moment came at 4-all. Eala was serving at 15-40, facing 2 break points for Peeny. If Peeny converts here, she serves for the match, and it's all but over. Eala saved the first with a blistering ace right down the middle. It was pure clutch. On the second break point, they constructed the single greatest rally of the match. 26 shots, forehands, backhands, slices, moonballs. Peeny dragged Eala from one corner of the court to the other. Eala looked defeated on 2 separate occasions, but she scrambled, just getting her racket on the ball to keep the point alive. At last, Peeny tried to end it with a flat forehand down the line, and she missed it by a hair's breadth. A single inch. Eala held for 5-4. The weight of the world shifted squarely onto the Italian's shoulders. Serving to stay alive, Peeny finally cracked. Perhaps it was the cumulative fatigue from the marathon rallies. Perhaps it was the relentless assault of Eala's returns. At 30-all, Eala danced around a backhand and pulverized an inside-out forehand for a clean winner. Her signature weapon. Match point. The stadium was a wall of sound. "Alex! Alex!" The chants cascaded down. Peeny served. Eala sent back a deep return, forcing Pauwany to hit short. A saw her opening, moved in, planted her feet, and unleashed a ferocious backhand into the wide-open court. Game, set, and the match to Eala. Now, let's dive into the statistics, because they reveal a truly remarkable tale. On her first serve, Eala was connecting at a 68% clip. This represents a staggering improvement. Just last week in her Doha loss, that number was languishing near 55% against a returner of Peeny's caliber. Against the elite, you simply cannot afford to miss your first serves. Today, she found the mark when it counted most. Let's look at winners versus unforced errors. Eala struck 34 clean winners against only 28 unforced errors, putting her firmly in positive territory. In contrast, Peeny managed 28 winners but gave away 31 unforced errors. That single gap tells the entire story of this battle. Eala was the one dictating play, but she did so with calculated precision. Then there's the tale of breakpoint conversions. Eala was a clinical 4 for 6 on her breakpoint chances, while Peeny managed only 3 for 10. This is the razor-thin margin that separates victory from defeat. A was simply lethal. When an opportunity presented itself, she seized it without hesitation. Peeny created her own chances, but time and again, Eala slammed the door shut. Beyond any technical adjustments, we can analyze the serve, the forehand. The real narrative here is one of mental fortitude. You have to consider the circumstances. Eala is just 20 years old. She carries the hopes of an entire country on her young shoulders. Every single time she steps on the court, social media across the Philippines erupts. The weight of that pressure is colossal. So, to squander a match-winning advantage in the second set against the world number 8 and refuse to crumble, that demonstrates a level of mental maturity years beyond her age. We so often bring up the Nadal DNA because of her training at his esteemed academy. Well, today, that very DNA was on full display for the world to see. That sheer refusal to surrender, that unique capacity to embrace and even enjoy the suffering on court. As Peeny unleashed a barrage of powerful shots in the decisive third set, Eala showed no signs of panic. Instead, she dug her heels in deeper. And we have to give immense credit to Jasmine Paolini. She fought an incredible match. This wasn't handed to Eala on a silver platter. She compelled Eala to seize the victory for herself, and the exchange at the net afterward was a thing of beauty. It was a heartfelt embrace, a genuine smile, and words that we would soon learn were filled with the highest praise. In her press conference a short while ago, Pauwany confessed, "I was aware of her talent, but I had no idea she was this resilient. The way she strikes the ball is so pure. She is destined to be a top player in the very, very near future. It's a wonderful thing for tennis to have a new star emerging from the Philippines. This moment perfectly captures the spirit of the game. It's about witnessing the established titans of the sport acknowledge and welcome the next generation of talent. It's about the profound sportsmanship. It's the collective understanding that the sport's legacy is secure in capable hands. This victory will send tremors through the entire locker room. The top 10 players are acutely aware of the real contenders. They know about Sabalenka. They know about Swiatek. They know about Goff. Until now, Eala was considered a dangerous wildcard. The kind of player you dread seeing in an early round, but one you still fully expect to overcome. That perception shattered today. Now, Eala is a slayer of giants. She's shown the world she can not only withstand the relentless pace of a top 10 player, but also endure the grueling physical demands of a 3-hour marathon in blistering heat. And we must discuss the court surface. Dubai is known for its lightning-fast hard courts. While Eala has always been solid on hard courts, her footwork has occasionally been tested on these quicker surfaces. Today, she moved with the grace of a gazelle. Her transition from defense to attack was breathtaking. Her ability to slide into a defensive shot and then instantly explode from the corner to attack was easily at a top 20 level. So, why is this match capturing the world's attention? It goes far beyond the upset. It's the very manner in which she achieved it. A video is already making the rounds of that pivotal point at 4-all in the third set. It has already amassed 2 million views in just the past hour. What's the reason? It's because that single point encapsulates the entire struggle. It portrays a young warrior refusing to be broken by a seasoned champion. It is the essence of pure, unscripted drama, and we cannot ignore the crowd. The energy inside the stadium in Dubai was absolutely electric. The atmosphere was more akin to a Davis Cup final or a Billie Jean King Cup showdown. That Filipino spirit is utterly contagious. When Eala secured the final point, the roar from the crowd was a primal, cathartic release. She injects a level of passion into the WTA Tour that can sometimes be absent in the initial rounds of tournaments. Pini even mentioned this, describing the atmosphere as both crazy and amazing. Now, I want to revisit the advantage of her being a lefty. We witnessed throughout the match how profoundly unsettled Pini was by the wicked spin Eala generated on her serves from the ad court. Eala masterfully curved the ball wide, dragging Pawini completely off the court before hammering her next shot into the vast open space. This is a time-honored Rafael Nadal strategy, brilliantly re-engineered for the women's tour. Pawini stands at just 5'4". When you stretch her that wide, she has to burn extra energy to regain her position. Compounded over 3 long sets, those additional steps begin to take a heavy toll. By the conclusion of the third set, Pini was just a fraction of a second too slow. That is the cumulative damage inflicted by Eala's brilliant tactical serving. This was never about hitting aces. It was all about strategic positioning. So, what does this all mean? Eala now advances to the round of 16. She has not only protected her points from the previous year, but has also added a significant haul. Her live ranking is surging, and with another victory, she could be a seeded player in the upcoming tournaments at Indian Wells and Miami. But far more crucial than any ranking is the unshakable belief she has just forged. Belief is not something you can purchase. It is something you must earn through trial and fire. And today, under the scorching Dubai sun, Alexandra Eala earned a lifetime's worth. She now possesses the deep-seated knowledge that even if she lets a commanding lead slip, she has the resilience to win. She knows that even when the world number 8 brings her absolute best, Eala's best can be better. For the rest of the tour, that is a truly terrifying realization. As we conclude this special analysis, let us just pause to absorb the sheer significance of this achievement. The history of sport is written in these pivotal moments. History is divided into 2 chapters, before this day and everything after. Before tonight, Alexandria was a regional phenom, a rising talent from Southeast Asia with immense promise. After tonight, she is a global force that the entire WTA Tour must reckon with. She is a true threat at the 1,000 level. We titled this story, "The World is Wonderful," and in so many ways, that simple phrase perfectly captures the soul of sport. It's wonderful because the script is never written in advance. It's wonderful because all the thankless, unseen work, the lonely hours on the practice court, the grueling rehab, the endless travel, the heart-wrenching sacrifices can, in one glorious moment, pay off. We witnessed the raw truth of that on Eala's face as the final ball flew out. She didn't collapse to the court. She didn't let out a primal scream. She simply closed her eyes and let a slow smile spread across her face. It was a look of profound relief mixed with the deepest satisfaction. Her gaze lifted instantly to her box, to her parents, to her entire team. That bond, that moment of shared victory, is the very essence of what makes this game so powerful. For every Filipino fan watching this, hold on to this feeling. You have waited an entire generation for a singles player to ascend to this height. You've had your doubles legends. You've had your regional conquerors. But a solo star with the power to dethrone the world number 8 in a WTA 1000 event? That is rarefied air. Yet, amidst the euphoria, a word of warning. This tournament is far from over. The greatest peril of a monumental upset is the emotional hangover that follows. Eala's focus must now turn to recovery. The ice baths, the massage, the nutrition, the sleep, all of it is paramount, because the next woman she faces will not care that she vanquished Paolini. Her next opponent will see a weary 20-year-old coming down from the biggest high of her life and will try to tear her apart. The ultimate measure of a champion isn't just scaling the mountain, it's defending the summit. Can she conquer Dubai entirely? And to that I ask, why not? The path forward has been blasted wide open. Her confidence is surging. Her entire game is clicking into place. If she brings the same masterful blend of aggression and patience, that newfound armor of mental steel that she displayed today, there is no one left in this draw who is beyond her reach. We will be here documenting every single step of this incredible journey. If this analysis made you feel the electricity of the match, if you felt the drama through our words, then ensure you are subscribed. We don't just report the scores on this channel, we tell the stories behind them. And the story of Alexandra Eala is just entering its most thrilling chapter. To Jasmine Paolini, we commend you for an extraordinary battle. You reminded us all what a champion looks like. And to Alexandra Eala, congratulations! You just sent shockwaves across the globe. From the desert sands of Dubai to the vibrant streets of Manila and every court in between, the spirit of tennis is thriving. The world is, without a doubt, wonderful. I'm your host, signing off. Go pick up a racket. Go dare to dream. We will see you back here for the round of 16. Good night.